In one of my previous demos, I took you through the creation of a triage risk assessment using the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. I showed how I structured the prompt and used Copilot to assess a team's meeting transcript by using a rubric of scoring criteria and output the results. Early on, I received feedback that getting people to paste in the prompt into the small prompt box and add document references and run it was complicated. I understood this and investigated how to remove the complexity using a Copilot agent. My goal was for the agent administrator to maintain versioning of the instruction set while everyone else enjoys the simplicity. Let me show you what it's like to use. Inside the Copilot app, I select the Triage Risk Assessment agent from the list. This changes the screen to the agent interface with just one starter prompt to start the process. Notice I've not referenced the transcript yet. Once the process has started, I can see it's picked up a reference to my scoring document in the agent, and now Copilot asks us for the transcript. I'm using this method a lot more now, as it's just easier for people to interact with. So let's add the reference to the document, either using the plus icon or pressing the / key, and start typing in the transcript name. So like my original prompt, the agent will use my instructions to process the transcript with the rubric and provides the high-level risk. Notice it shows the reasons why the other risk levels were not chosen. So this type of reasoning is really important for us to have confidence in the results. Here's the instruction set I used. Even though discussions are turning to the power of agents, I believe that agents are only as good as the instructions you give it. This makes it even more important that the prompts you use to create your agent instructions are comprehensive. I make sure that I cover several elements when I'm putting them together. Firstly, where is the reference data coming from? Giving clarity on the expected data helps the agent run correctly. And in this case, we're expecting a meeting transcript and using the already created triage rubric document. Next, we provide setup sections that will cover the purpose, scene settings, and personas. Then we have the requirements where we'll cover what we want the instruction set to do, including the expectations on the output. Finally, and I do this more often than not, let's put in the set of constraints where we make sure the agent understands the boundaries to a good performance. So how does this look inside an agent? Let me show you. From the Copilot app, we'll go back to the Triage Risk Assessment agent, but this time select Edit to bring up the Copilot Studio Agent Builder. If this was a fresh agent, then maybe we consider using the Describe tab to let Copilot help us structure the agent. But in this example, we're going to have the complex prompt ready and use the Configure tab instead. We have the name and the description at the top. Then we have the instructions themselves that we've already defined. I found working with the prompt version was a great step before creating the agent. Next, we have the knowledge source. We can search for the source using the field or use the cloud icon to look through the sites and shared libraries that we have access to. Remember, when we share the agent, all the people using it must also have access to the same known sources. In this example, I've been able to focus the knowledge source just down to one file. At the end, we have the suggested prompts, and in this case, we just need one to start the process, as our instructions includes everything we need to get the agent to work. If we've made changes, then we can use the update button, or if we need to make any amendments to the sharing of the agent. In this last part, I'd like to show you the power of creating good instruction sets. In the standard Copilot chat interface, I referenced the meeting transcript, and this time I mentioned the agent just like a person in a Teams chat. Notice how the prompt box changes to show we're chatting with the agent. Now we press the send without any further details selected and see what happens. So the agent understands the meeting transcript, it recalls its knowledge source from the configuration, and then puts together the table based on our instructions, finally giving us that same high-risk assessment and reasons. The final part I want to remind you of is edit in pages. Don't forget to use this as a way to store your responses in a place away from your Copilot history, which is ideal for editing later, for sharing with others in your organization, and exporting to Word using the icons in the top right-hand corner.